Dear students, hello and welcome to this lecture in marketing management. The topic of this lecture is elements of marketing mix, and in this lecture we are going to talk about the various elements of marketing mix in case of a product as well as in case of a service. So, let me take you through the slides and let us try to understand what the various elements of marketing mix are. At the end of the lecture, I will also take you through a case study wherein we will try to understand better how these elements of marketing mix are put to use. So, let me change the slide now. Now, let us understand what do you understand by marketing mix. So, the word marketing mix refers to a set of marketing tools that a company uses to pursue its marketing objectives. So, every company has got some marketing objectives, and marketing mix consists of a set of tools or a set of elements which the company has to put to use in order to obtain its marketing objectives. I will take you through an example. For example, a company might have a marketing objective of making the consumer aware about its product and thereby maximizing its sales. So, therefore, the company will have to follow a good promotion strategy so that the consumers can come to understand what the products are and they can become aware of the products and services of the company. So, in this case, the objective of the company was to make the consumer aware about the product, while the strategy that it followed was that of promotion. Promotion, let me tell you, is an element of marketing mix, and therefore, by doing appropriate promotion and by adopting appropriate promotion strategies, the company will be able to tell about its product to maximum number of consumers, and therefore, its objective of making the consumers aware will get realized in point of time. Elements of marketing mix are used to take vital marketing decisions. So, in the slides to come, when we will explore the various elements of marketing mix, we will also understand how these elements are used to take important marketing decisions related to pricing, related to distribution, related to promotion, etc. Elements of marketing mix influence each other and together they make the marketing plan of any company. So, whenever we talk about the marketing plan of a company, a marketing plan is incomplete without the mention of the marketing mix elements of the products and services of the company. And these marketing mix elements are actually co-influencing each other. So, if there is a change in price, there would be change in promotion strategy, there can be a change in distribution strategy, and likewise. So, one element of marketing mix is likely to influence the other element, and therefore, these elements of marketing mix work together and not in isolation, whether we take the example of a product or whether we take the example of service. And it is also correct that together these elements of marketing mix make the marketing plan of the company. So, if we talk about the marketing plan, it is, as I said, not complete without the mention of marketing mix elements. If handled in the right manner, marketing mix can bring success to a company, but if handled wrongly or if handled carelessly, the same marketing mix elements can destroy the business, which will then take years to rebound or recover from the losses. So, therefore, every organization and every company that is manufacturing a product or whether it is generating a service has to handle the elements of marketing mix in an extremely careful fashion, because these, if put to judicious use, can bring huge profits, but if these are handled carelessly, then they can bring huge losses and the company can, it can go step back in the market and competitors might win the race. Now, let me take you to this next slide wherein we will discuss about some elements of marketing mix. A very famous marketer and academician, E. Jerome McCarthy, actually proposed the idea of the 4 P's, which are very famously called the elements of marketing mix for a product. And Jerome McCarthy did this during 1960. So, in the year 1960, Jerome McCarthy proposed these elements for marketing mix. Let me spell out these names. The first element of marketing mix is product, the second element is price, the third element is place, and the fourth element is promotion. And these are the famous 4 P's of a product. Now, let me tell you how we define a product. A product is defined as an offering which will satisfy the need of a consumer while being intangible in nature. So, technically a product is different from a service. I will spend just a couple of minutes in differentiating between a product and a service, because marketing mix elements have been defined differently for a product and for service. Therefore, it is important for us to understand the difference between product and services. A product is tangible in nature. So, suppose this is a pen which is in my hand. This is a product because it is tangible in nature. Tangible means I can hold it, it has some dimension. Also, a product satisfies a consumer. So, when I have a need of writing, I will go and purchase a pen, which is a tangible product. A product is manufactured at one location while it is consumed at some other location. So, a pen is manufactured in a factory which is located outside the city, while this is being consumed by me at my home. So, therefore, these are certain points which are related to a product, and in case of such a tangible product, these are the elements of marketing mix. The first being product. Product means, here we can say product is the offering which is being given to the consumer. So, in case of a product, it is the tangible offering which is being offered to the consumer for a certain decided price. So, when I go and purchase a pen, or when I go and purchase a chair, or when I go and purchase a laptop or a mobile phone, I am basically buying a product which is an tangible offering, and then some of my need will be satisfied with that product. So, my need of writing will be satisfied with the pen, my need of talking to people and communicating with them will be satisfied through a mobile phone, my need of computation and writing and saving documents will be satisfied by a laptop. Next element of marketing mix in case of a product is price. Now, let us try to understand what price is. Basically, we define price as the amount of money. So, it is the amount of money which is paid by the consumer in order to acquire the product. So, suppose I want to acquire a product such as a pen. So, I will have to pay the price, I will have to pay the money which is equal to the price of the pen, which might be 10, 15 rupees or 50 rupees or whatever the price is. So, these were the two very essential elements of marketing mix in case of a product. That was the product itself, which we defined as the offering, and the price, which was the money paid by the consumer in order to acquire the product. Here I would like to tell you one more difference between a product and a service. When we talk about a product, so when we pay the price of the product, we become the owners of the product. Suppose I pay rupees 10 for a pen. Now, the pen belongs to me. I will bring the pen to my home and I will use it till it finishes. So, any tangible product is actually owned by the person who pays the price. So, when I pay the price, I become the owner of the product. In case of a service, I do not take anything tangible back home. So, let us once again understand this properly, that a product is a tangible thing which we take ownership of when we pay the price, while in case of a service, when we pay the price, we get only the experience. For example, let us take our visit to cinema hall. Suppose there is a movie and that movie is scheduled 6 o'clock. We purchase the ticket of the movie, we go there to the theatre, we sit for 3 hours, we watch the movie and we come back home with the experience of the movie theatre. We do not bring back anything, the chairs are there only, the screen is there only. So, in case of a product and in case of a service, it is very important to understand that when we purchase a product or when we pay the price of the product, we actually become the owners of the product and bring it to our home. While in case of a service, even after paying money, we get the service which is the experience part. And often it is accompanied by some products also, but it is the experience part that is dominant in a service which we actually bring with us. So therefore, when we pay the price of the product, we become the owners, while when we pay the price for a service, we actually get the experience and we then retain that experience with us. The third element of marketing mix in case of a product is place. Now, let me elaborate this. Here, place means how the product will reach the consumer or how the product will be distributed. So, a place is more related with the distribution in case of a product. So, while certain products are available in the shops, the nearby shops, we can go and purchase those products. Other products are available in a mall or maybe in a showroom which might be located 10 kilometers away from our home. I'll give you a small example. When we think of purchasing milk in the morning or when we think of purchasing the bread packet in the morning, we just visit the nearby shop and we do not think much. We go and come back within 10 minutes because the nearby shop is located, and we pay the money for the bread and the milk and we come back instantly. So therefore, that particular product is available nearby our homes and at a convenience. We just go, we do not spend much time, we pay the money and we come back. While there are certain products for which we have to travel for 10 to 15 kilometers because they are located, the shops are located or the malls are located away from our home. For obtaining certain other products, what we can do is something called cash on delivery. So, we can just call the company, we can just phone the company, we can order the product and the product will reach our home, and when it reaches our homes, when we get the delivery of the product, at that time we pay the money for that product. There are certain other ways to obtain some other products, like e-commerce is very popular nowadays. Let us take the example of a popular e-commerce website. What we do is we go to the website and then we browse the various products which are listed on that website, and then we finally find the product of our preference, and then we select the product, we pay the price either through some UPI app or through a debit or a credit card, and when the payment is done, we get a receipt online, and maybe after 2 days or 3 days we get the delivery of the product at our homes. So there are various ways in which the product can reach the consumer or the product can be distributed in the market and finally it reaches the consumer. This is the era of e-commerce, and therefore the products can be obtained online. The products can also be obtained offline, wherein you visit the shop and then you purchase the product. So therefore, place means the location at which you as a consumer get the product for using. So it can be an online store, it can be an offline store, it can be the nearest kirana shop, it can be a specialty store located in a particular mall, or it can be something like a cash on delivery we discussed. So therefore, place is actually relating to the manner in which the consumer obtains the product, and therefore, I have related it with distribution. So how a product finally reaches the consumer is distribution, and the location or the place at which the consumer gets the product is the place. So it can be an online or an offline store. Coming to promotion, this is the fourth element of product mix, marketing mix in case of a product. So in case of promotion, promotion is actually to promote the product or to make the consumers aware about the product. So any product which is being launched into the market is not known by the people. So first of all, the company has to promote the product, and after doing proper promotion, the consumers are made aware about the product, that there is such and such product which is available in the market at so and so price. Once they become aware, then the consumers go to the market and purchase the product, and after using it, they become either dissatisfied or satisfied. So if they are satisfied, then they can go and purchase the product again. But it is important for the company to bring the customers to purchase the product for the first time. Otherwise, it will not be able to make its market. So promotion is the activity through which the consumers are made aware about the product, if it is launching for the first time. For products which are already there in the market, promotion is one way to keep the customers recalling about your product. So, for example, we find that there are so many products which are available in the market. Let us take the example of McDonald's burger. So, McDonald's burger is already there in the market since last so many decades. Still, McDonald's does advertising for two reasons. One, in order to make the customer recall that the burgers are existing and they have come again, they have to come to the McDonald's restaurant again to eat it. Secondly, it also has to see its competitors. So, competitors are also one reason why promotion is required, because if you do not promote your product well, your competitors are sitting, or the company's competitors are sitting to eat away the market. So, if the company has to retain the market share, it has to promote the products very well in order to make consumers aware, and also in order to make them recall about its product offering, so that the competitors are kept at a distance. After these four elements of marketing mix, let us see the elements of marketing mix in case of services. Yeah, so here in this slide I have defined all the four elements. Product refers to the offering, as we discussed, made to the consumer to satisfy his needs. Product also includes, so while we are talking about a product, we are also talking about the packaging, labeling, the guarantee, warranty, etc. Whatever is being offered with the product is also a part of the offering. When we are talking about the price, as we discussed, price refers to the amount of money to be paid by the consumer in order to purchase the product or to own the product. So, while the product is tangible, we become the actual owners of the product, we pay the money and we bring the product home, and then we can use it in any manner we feel like. While we were talking about place, place refers to how the consumers will get the access to the product. It points out the distribution strategy of the company. So, while certain products are made available online, like we discussed, there are certain products which are available only offline or offline stores. So, we have to visit the shops and then only we can purchase those products. In case of promotion, promotion is concerned with making the consumer aware about the products and doing marketing communication. So, here I would like to underline this phrase, marketing communication. It is not only important to make your consumer aware about the presence of your product in the market, but it is also important to constantly communicate with the consumer. So, as a company, there is a lot of communication that has to happen. For products which are already existing, you have to keep the consumers reminding, you have to keep them reminded as to how your product is better than the product of your competitors, so that your competitors don't eat away your market and so that your market share is retained. So, all this is being done by the organization. So, there is a lot of marketing communication which is happening, and let me again, let's go deep into promotion and let us take a look at the various elements of promotion. So, these are the elements of promotion. I am underlining these, and these are together they are referred to as the promotion mix. The promotion mix consists of advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relation, that is called PR, and publicity. So, these are the elements of promotion mix. Let's briefly talk about the elements of promotion mix, or all these elements like advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, PR, and publicity. Now, advertising is the paid form of promotion. Advertising, we see a lot of advertisements daily on the television, in the newspapers, in the magazines, on the billboards and hoardings when we are crossing the road. We see a lot of advertisements. So, advertising is the paid form of promotion in which the consumers are made aware about the product or about certain aspect of the product, or they are made to recall the presence of the product in the market. Advertisements by their nature are generally expensive. So, if we talk about a TV ad is an expensive element of promotion. For a 10-second TV ad, companies have to pay between 5 to 6 lakh rupees, or sometimes even more than that. If we talk about sales promotion means giving discounts and giving offers in order to attract your customer to buy your product for the first time. So, when we go to malls or when we go to these hypermarkets, we can see a lot of sales promotion happening. Personal selling happens when a person actually is Selling the product. So, whenever we go to a showroom, let us say a car showroom, there is a person who greets the customer and who meets the customer face to face, and when that person is selling the product, it's personal selling. Public relations. Public relations is more concerned with getting the interview of the CEO of the company in a magazine or in a newspaper, or doing some charity event in order to enhance the corporate image of the company, and like that. Last but not the least, one important element of promotion mix is publicity. Now, there is something special about publicity which is very different from advertisement. Advertisement is the paid form of promotion, while publicity is always free. So, it is the word of mouth which happens by itself and which can either enhance or destroy the reputation of an organization. So, publicity is also an important element of promotion. So, this completes the element of product marketing mix. Now, we come to the elements of service marketing mix. Now, Booms and Bittner in 1981 added 3 more elements, and they said that by the very nature product is different from service. So, in case of a product, Jerome McCarthy has already given 4 P's. Let us add 3 P's more, and let these 7 P's be called the marketing mix elements for a service. So, for a service we have additional 3 P's, which are people, process and physical evidence. People, in case of a service, like I said, that experience is taken back by the consumer and there is no ownership of a service. We have to pay for that experience. So, therefore, it is very important to understand that a service cannot be delivered without people. Whenever we go to a bank, or whenever we go to a hospital, or whenever we go to a cinema hall, it is the people, it is the workforce or the HR there, that those people offer us a lot of service. Suppose we go to a bank for account opening, so the teller and the cashier will help us in getting the forms filled and then open our bank account, and we will come back with that service. So, a service is impossible without people, and therefore, people is an important element of marketing mix in case of a service. Likewise, there is a process. Now, let me define process as a sequence of activities. So, this is a sequence of activities which takes place in order to give the service to the consumer. So, if we are talking about opening of a bank account, there is a sequence of activities. We go to the bank, we take the bank account opening form, we have to fill the form, we have to attach whatever documents are required, and then we have to submit that form with the documents at an appropriate place, and then the verification happens, and after verifications we are given an account number. So, for every service there is a process, there is a set routine, there are certain sequence of activities which are followed in order to the customer to get the service. So, therefore, process is one important element of service marketing mix. And then last but not the least, there is physical evidence. Let me define this by saying that it is the physical environment in which the service is being offered. So, when we are going to a restaurant for eating food, we have tables and chairs, we have the lighting, we have the curtains, we have an ambience, we have people around who are in uniform, we have the menu card, we have the bill, there are some tissue papers kept on the table, there is some music playing. So, all this is the physical setting of the service. So, this physical environment in which the service is offered is referred to as physical evidence. So, there are 4 P's for product and 7 P's, the 4 P's plus 3 P's for a service: people, process and physical evidence that we discussed right now. Importance of marketing mix elements. These are used for taking vital marketing decisions. You have to take decisions related to pricing, packaging, the product offering, what discounts to give, etc., how to advertise. So, there are important decisions which are to be taken, and these decisions are important for sustainable profit. So, if you take the correct decisions, your profits go up or the company's profits go up. If the company takes wrong decision, the profits go down. Customer satisfaction is ensured using these elements, and these elements are used for beating the competition. For example, Jio, low profits, better service, and the competition is beaten. And to capture market share. So, if you are offering a better product for low price, it is very likely that your market share is going to increase. There is a small case study here. The case study is of the company Make My Trip and their strategy for survival. So, Make My Trip was, it is in India's #1 travel portal, which started in the year 2000 by Deep Kalra. The case study goes like this. Make My Trip was an online travel portal which was launched in the year 2000 by Deep Kalra, who is an alumni of Ahmedabad. Initially, Make My Trip did very well. In 2000, it did very well, but after that, there was a dot-com bubble burst. There was a problem in the IT industry, and the shares of all these online companies, they fell suddenly. So, in 2001, there was this bubble burst, but before the bubble burst, one venture capitalist had acquired 70% in Flipkart for $2 million. So, so this company Make My Trip got $2 million from a venture capitalist, and after that the bubble burst. So, this problem occurred, and because of this problem that occurred in 2001, the company suffered huge losses, and as a result, this person Deep Kalra had to buy back the 70% from the venture capitalist, and he had to invest his own savings. So, because he had to invest his own savings, he suffered major losses. The employee strength of the company came down, and from a big office they shifted to a small office, and all these negative things happened. At that time, there is very important thing to understand that at that time the Indian consumers were not habitual of purchasing online. So, this company which had a website, and it used to sell flight tickets on that website, but Indian consumer in 2001 was not ready to purchase flight tickets from a website, because Indian consumer was very new to the internet and also very new to the use of credit and debit cards. So, the Indian consumer was reluctant to use the debit and credit card on a website. So, that is why company was suffering huge losses. Now, we should focus on what he did. So, he observed that Indian consumers, after visiting the website of Make My Trip, used to go to a travel agent to buy tickets. So, they did their inquiry online while they made the purchase offline. So, therefore, he decided to shift the focus from Indian consumers to US NRIs. Now, there were so many non-residential Indians NRIs in US. So, this was his strategy, that he shifted his focus from India to US, and therefore, those NRIs were very fluent with the use of debit and credit card, and they were habitual of purchasing online. So, because they were habitual of purchasing online, they saw this website Make My Trip, and they said, okay, this is a cool website, we can actually purchase flight tickets from this website, and it is offering us good deals. So, by 2005, this company made huge profits from the US NRIs, not from Indians initially. But by 2005, the company again shifted the focus to the Indian consumers, because by then, by 2005, they had become habitual of online shopping, and they were well versed with the use of debit and credit cards. So, today Make My Trip is India's #1 portal. So, the conclusion is that you have to target the right set of consumers. If your consumers are not ready, Indian consumers were not ready to use credit and debit cards, you have to shift your focus to US consumers, NRIs. So, this is what Make My Trip did, and therefore, this is how they survived. So, there were elements of marketing mix involved here also, pricing, promotion. The promotion was shifted to US NRIs, pricing was done for US NRIs. So, therefore, this is how what we learn from here is that there are elements of marketing mix which have to be dealt very carefully, and if a company deals with those elements appropriately, the company goes into profits, otherwise the company goes into making losses. So, with this case study, I come to the end of this lecture. Let us quickly rewind and recap what we learned in this lecture. The recap is as follows. We talked about the elements of marketing mix. We started with the elements of marketing mix for a product. In this case, we talked about the 4 P's, that is product, price, place, and promotion. Then there were some definitions and examples followed by. After that, we shifted our focus to the elements of service marketing mix. In case of service, as I told you, that in addition to those 4 P's, there are 3 P's more, that is people, process, and physical evidence. After this, this was some definition of people, process, and physical evidence. Physical evidence, as I told you, is the environmental settings in which the services are being offered to the consumer. The importance of the elements of marketing mix. Those elements are used for taking vital marketing decisions, for profit sustainability, for consumer satisfaction, to beat the competition, and last but not the least, to capture market share. From here on, we came to this case study, the small case study on Make My Trip, and with this case study, this told us that there are elements of marketing mix that we have to deal very carefully. So, if a certain set of consumers are not ready to make some decisions, then we have to shift our focus to the right set of consumers, and we have to give them the right offering in order to float in the market, and with the passage of time we would be making profit. That's exactly what happened with Make My Trip. So, with this case study, I come to the end of this lecture. I am Ashish Avasthi, and I am sharing my web mail with you. My email ID is ashishashish.awasthi@imsec.ac.in. I welcome your queries, and I'll try to answer those queries to the best of my ability. Thank you so much.